Yes, guys, welcome to Primetime Analysis. I am your host, Victor Onyango. Now, today the president was in central Kenya, and specifically in Meru, and then again in Githunguri constituency, which is in the larger Kiambu County. This happens in the wake of the hot debate that surrounded the finance bill. But one critical thing that we know is that the member of parliament for Githunguri constituency stood out to be one of the vocal and the most open members of parliament from central Kenya, and specifically from the UDA party, to oppose this bill. And to put it in her words, she said that this bill is oppressive, and this bill is punitive, and then this bill is also scandalous. She decided to oppose the bill, and as everybody expects, given the warning that President William Ruto had given at the Thanksgiving for CS of Environment, Madam Soipan Tuya, that we want this voting to be an open system where we can have an opportunity to see those who will oppose this bill. The speaker gave it to them, both the Azimio and the Kenya Kwanza leaders. They all wanted an open voting system where Kenyans could have a look and understand and see who opposed and who supported the bill. Now, in this video, I want us to have a candid discussion about the happenings that we saw in Githunguri constituency, and especially when it comes to how the president and his team handled the situation and how they treated Gathoni Wamuchomba. First of all, there is this video that I'm sharing with you. It is an amateur video though, but you realize that there was a contingent of school bus vehicles or school buses that brought people to this dairy farmers field day. And this means that those who were in this crowd were paid visitors. I hope you remember this kind of strategy that the government, the politicians were using during the campaign, that when they are going to an event, people who are supposed to get into that event are supposed to be facilitated and they're to be brought by vehicles here and there. So it seems the people who visited, those who were here, most of them were ferried to that venue using other means. And when you see these yellow buses all over, especially to a political event, you will see them in Thanksgiving prayers. They come there. You'll see them in state events that are organized where the state wants to create a perception that it has a larger support from the public. So people were brought to that venue. And one of the main things that I am reading out of it is that they were brought with an aim, because the state knew that the NP will have to be there. So these people were brought to start to push issues such as heckling when she's speaking, disapproving of her opinions, and on the other hand, supporting and approving of the opinions brought by those who are in support of the government. So this is one of the reasons why I think the facilitation of those who attended this event was done. Another critical thing that happened is that there was heavy deployment of security. You know what heavy deployment of security means in a state event. I suspect that they might have thought that given the traction that this member of parliament has been getting in the constituency, she has a huge following. And therefore, to ensure that those who could attend that event are suppressed, they brought a heavy contingent of security personnel. And one would ask, why would they be dressed in such a way that in gears that they use to address or to handle situations of demonstrations? There was no demonstration in Githunguri. Why do you think there were heavy contingency of police force in that region? It was meant to suppress attendance from within. And that is why those who are free get ample time to do all their things that they're supposed to do, while those who are from within are suppressed by that heavy security. Then you will note that when the president was speaking, and you realize that these people are psyching the president up, they are approving of what the president is saying. So for me, it was a social conditioning where these people are already pre-conditioned. Because one thing that I think for every Kenyan and for everybody who lives in this country, you will note that the cost of living is somewhere else. Then one thing that you'd want a population that is oppressed to talk about is opportunities, or where they can get better space to support their enterprise so that they can get income to support their livelihood. But these were not things that were canvassed here. Much of the speech that was given, or the highlight of the speech that was given, is that the president was supporting his bill. He was trying to explain the reason why they supported the bill, and in the other hand, disapproving of Gathoni Wamuchomba, who opposed to the bill. But to my surprise, when Gathoni Wamuchomba was given a chance to speak, she spoke her mind. That thank you, my farmers, for always supporting me. And I also thank you for believing, and I promise you that I will never let you down, and I will continue championing your issues without fear or favor. For me, that line was epic. And you will realize that also there is a section of the people who are there who cheered her up. When the president got an opportunity to be on the dais, he looked dejected and angry. And in that event, Gathoni Wamuchomba reminded me of Wangari Maathai because of her sheer grit and ability to stand and be brave to talk before power that be and express her feeling and understanding of how things are supposed to be done. That is what we do expect our leaders to always project wherever the heavy and mighty people of the state visit our constituencies. So if you ask me, Gathoni Wamuchomba played her cards right. And for me, there are two things I'm reading out of this. First of all, Gathoni Wamuchomba is on her way out of UDA party. And I don't think, because William Ruto is someone who is unforgiving, Gathoni Wamuchomba will not run on a UDA ticket again. She will have to find another party. This is the same fate that befell Kabando wa Kabando when they came opposing. So for me, I think Gathoni Wamuchomba is on her way out. And if her constituents are going to stand with her, then she will be lucky to remain and be a member of parliament in the next elections. But one thing is working for her, because we are just in our first year and things are this bad. If things continue getting bad, she will have an upper hand and tell Kenyans and her fellow MPs who are castigating her that I told you, I knew what I was talking about when I opposed this bill. So these are some of the things that you realize. These are the opportunities that she will get to talk about. Now, one thing I noted from President William Ruto, he was very angry. If you look at how he was speaking, he was very, very angry. And you know, for those who know very well, that William Ruto is not a person you oppose what he's saying. He was a very angered man. And one thing that showed me this is the tone in which he was speaking. And then again, if you look at him, if you watch this video, you will note that he's talking, but he's a very angry person. Then again, when he was speaking to these constituents or farmers, he was setting them against Gathoni Wamuchomba, because you hear the analogy that he was giving, that these people pay us through their taxes, but now when we come to you as a leader to just give 3% so that their children get jobs. You are out here opposing. So these are some of the things that I think the president is going to look at, and he is going to see how he's going to handle this Gathoni Wamuchomba thing. Because if the president does not handle this Gathoni Wamuchomba thing strictly and firmly, then I can tell you there will be more Gathoni Wamuchombas in central Kenya. Just by the mere fact that life has become quite unbearable, it will not be easy for anybody to convince you that this government is doing anything good. So that is my take when it comes to looking at how the government handled Gathoni Wamuchomba and how they related during this event. And if you look at it mostly, she was sidelined. As you know, how things work is that when a president visits a constituency or a region, first of all, he is received by the governor of that region. Then the next person that will receive are other leaders like senator, women rep, and all those others. And then again, the next person and the most important person to accompany the president in the event is the member of parliament. If you look at how people are walking around, the person who played the host, the member of parliament who played host to President William Ruto, is Kimani Ichung'wah. So let's wait and see how things turn out. But for me, I think Gathoni Wamuchomba is on her way out of UDA party, and she is also going to chart her own path using the one man, one shilling, one vote clarion call, and it is going to be messy, noisy, and casualties will be found. Thank you for tuning in. Please, if you're joining us for the first time, take a second or two to subscribe to our channel. For those who have joined us, we thank you and we appreciate your support. And let's meet in our next video. Thank you.